everybody.
Ciao, amici. Bene da Salt Lake City, Utah.
It's Thank God I'm Atheist
Podcast.
I'm Frank Feldman.
And I'm Dan Beecher, throwing you for a loop. How's that?
Well, that was good. Dan.
Yeah.
We got some stuff coming up on the show.
We do. And stuff coming up in the world.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
There's a holiday that we Americans real like. At least I do. I don't know. Are you a fan of All Hallows-Eve?
It's fine. As far as holidays go, it's fine. Now, it's a nostalgic holiday for me. I don't, as an adult, I don't really dress up in costumes and go to, parties so much anymore. But it's a sweet little holiday.
Well, it poses a problem for a lot of religious fellas, for the religious, and
of course
we're gonna be talking about that.
Sense. Yeah, and but first, Dan, we have some news stories that we want to talk about.
Various stories from the week's news.
Yes,
that we want to jibber jabber on.
Yeah, and this one comes from close to us, Dan, down there in Midvale.
Oh, Midvale, Utah.
Beautiful inner ring suburb of Salt Lake City.
Yes.
It's a place that doesn't have a lot of character outside of just a bunch of old houses. I mean, that's Midvale. Sure. And some probably some dealerships and strip malls, right?
It's got a little downtown that's kind of quasi-cute.
That's what I'm getting to. They're Midvale's main street. It's the Midvale city is trying to do some renewal, I guess. They're trying to create a little arts district out of their old main street, which is a great idea. A lot of those shops have just been sitting there empty. Right. And so the city's working on it. And apparently a tattoo studio moved into one of the spaces. And which is kind of perfect for that kind of little strip.
I would think so.
Yeah. And the tattoo people commissioned a mural for the side of their building. It's on a corner, a very prominent big wall that was just brick before, or maybe, some old store sign or something, right? And they wanted to freshen it up with a big, beautiful mural. And the city has a program to help fund murals in their little arts district. And so they applied, the artist got some money from the city. And so actually to get money from the city, though, it has to go through a little bit of an approval process.
Sure.
And a mural gets painted that depicts, it's all very cloudy, but there's a man and a woman on one side, and she sort of has her arms wrapped around the man from behind. It is not clearly shown, but it is highly suggested that they are both naked. And he sort of has his head back, well, as one upset citizen called, experiencing ecstasy. and then there's off to the side, and this part I don't know what the artist is trying to do here, but there's a dark figure with wings off to the side, sort of looking at them, I guess. Ooh. Anyway, so this has caused an absolute outrage amongst the citizenry of Midvale. It is being called pornographic, Dan. The city helped fund pornography on that wall over there. And so this is according to Cassandra Sharp, a Midvale resident and wife of a former city council member. The mural shows an apparently naked male and female looking as if they are experiencing ecstasy. It is my opinion that the artist was purposefully trying to create confusion with an optical illusion in order to get away with painting nudity.
What? Wait. The optical illusion is just that they didn't paint the nudity part.
That they sort of show some bare shoulders, and he's kind of got like a bare but not very detailed chest.
Yeah, I just looked it up. It's actually a bit of a confusing mural.
Yeah, it's not. I don't care.
It's
for
not
this
well
mural.
done.
Yeah, but
the woman has a doll arm. I don't know why her arm is so little.
Isn't it just? Yeah, the proportions are totally nuts because isn't that her leg way down there at the bottom?
Is it?
I don't know.
I can't tell what's what. I see a hand coming out from underneath the window there that looks like it's his hand, but I thought that was his arm coming down. I don't.
Yeah,
it's a very confusing mural.
Apparently, that arm that connects that strange torso to the hand, that people are claiming is her bosom, which also. How? Where? I don't get it. Anyway, so I agree with you, Dan. Not a good mural. That's what they should be up in arms about.
That's what they should be mad about.
It's just like, hey, city, like you funded that? Come on.
Do this better.
Yeah, like this is ridiculous. The city is just like there's nothing we can do about this, right? Like we gave them money, but it's on private property.
Yeah.
For one, and for two, we don't agree that it's pornography. We approved it. We would not have approved pornography.
Yeah.
And this is from a current city council member. If a private business in Midvale put something up that was clearly pornographic or sexually explicit, we have ordinances in place that would allow us to remove that. However, in this instance, it is just a very small group of citizens who are making quite a big deal about something that isn't there.
I mean, you've seen worse in Renaissance paintings. This thing is not.
Yeah, but American sensibilities can be like worse. You've seen more detail in a Renaissance painting is not necessarily a great defense when what you're dealing with is a bunch of people in Midvale, Utah, right?
It's true. I mean, these people are. First of all, can we just admit that like the right wing of the United States of America in general, and especially the Christian right wing, including the Mormon right wing, they just need things to be outraged about.
Yeah. Well, and here's what I would love for just one person to say to these people is there's nothing in this that shows a bare female breast, and not that there should be anything wrong with that, but you can't claim that that's there. There's no naked bodies. There's just sort of a bare shoulder here, a bare chest-ish thing, whatever. Your mind is filling in the blanks. This is your problem if you think it's a problem.
You're the sexually minded person here.
You have the dirty mind. Not
if the artist claimed both of these people were wearing swimsuits, you could not claim otherwise.
That is exactly true. Now, just a quick thing about the artist. He did kind of have a run-in with the city of South Salt Lake, which has a big mural program as well. And he tried to paint a stylized panther and a woman teasing a bare shoulder on a South Salt Lake strip club. The city was like, you can't do that to advertise a sexually oriented business. You just can't.
Why?
I don't know.
You can't advertise this kind of business with
that
a
is
mural
legal,
that would indicate that it is this kind of business
that we allow, and there's nothing.
There's nothing explicit about.
Explicit.
Oh my God!
But so he has a checkered past.
He does
with this, Dan. He likes to show.
What's his name?
Women's bare shoulders. Shay Peterson.
Oh, Shay.
Get
your act together, will you?
He actually looks exactly like what you would expect.
Just paint a boob. Just get it over with and paint a boob.
Oh, I guarantee you at home, he's got some boob paintings. This guy. There's no doubt about that.
I'm gonna paint boobs on buildings now. Somebody painted a smiley face on my RV last night. That's fun.
Do you appreciate it?
No, it was not good.
No.
Anyway, I'm gonna take us to the internet. I don't know if you've heard of these podcasts that people do, Frank. But they exist.
What are you talking about?
There are people out there doing these podcast shows. I think it's the radio, but it's on the internet. I don't know how it works. I think it might be a blog. Anyway, there's a podcast called Catholic Conversations. And on this, the young hosts had a conversation recently that went in a direction I was not expecting. I'll be perfectly honest with you.
Oh, okay.
They were talking about how, I mean, I guess sort of in a roundabout way, they were lamenting the divorce rates here in these United States.
Oh, so high.
So
it's
very
so
high.
sad when a bad marriage ends.
Yeah. The divorce is a beautiful, wonderful thing. It's usually very painful, but it's good to be able to get out of marriages. Anywho, what these guys decided on, what they landed on, was that, like the saints of old, Saint Monica was mentioned, Blessed Canori Mora. I don't know Maria of Canori Mora. I don't know who that is. Anyway, the point is, stay with your man, ladies.
Oh,
the point is, look, yes, he might beat you.
Oh,
he might abuse you.
What? Is this where they went with it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll quote from them.
fuck.
Many of the saints who are married, all these women saints, are examples of this act. They lived in abusive relationships. What did they do? They stayed and endured the abuse.
Oh.
They offered up those sufferings for the salvation of souls, but most primarily for the salvation of souls for their husbands.
Wow.
Yeah.
They were marriage martyrs.
Yeah. He goes on, and Blessed Canori Mora, her husband, tried to murder her on multiple occasions. And she stayed with her husband, and it was by her suffering that her husband converted and ended up becoming a priest after her death.
Oh.
So I think we can all see the advantage to staying in the abusive marriage.
Yeah, because after
they went on to decry all of these modern people who tell women to get out of abusive marriages just because they're getting beaten up and stuff. It's ruining things. It's causing a high divorce rate.
Jesus.
Women aren't staying with their men just because the men are awful.
Yeah, because when you die, he might go off. He might go off and become a holy man.
What if you save his soul by staying there? What if you give up your whole life and save him? Won't that be a treat?
That's so
Isn't that
sick.
worth it?
That's so sick.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Deeply sick. Listen, folks, the religious people are not okay. Can we just acknowledge that, like, forcing your brain to do the work of squaring all of the circles of their holy books and whatever, it doesn't make you okay.
It leaves you damaged in some serious ways.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, Dan.
Yeah.
The story of a damaged individual is about to
Is it
be
me?
made into. Yeah. Dan, why'd you ruin it?
Spoilers. Damn it. Sorry.
No, a troubled soul documentary has been made, telling the whole story of the Jerry Falwell Jr. pool boy extravaganza coming to Hulu soon, entitled "God Forbid: The Sex Scandal That Brought Down a Dynasty." Dun, dun, dun. Jerry Falwell Jr., of course, famously the son of Jerry Falwell and former Liberty University president, who got into a lot of he just kept running into problems. Got caught with his pants down, literally, on Instagram.
Literally. that guy was trying to get out.
Oh my God. And then
he was clearly like done with this job. And
then when the details of the famous pool boy, one Mr. Giancarlo Granda, who is a dish, I will say.
Yeah.
Had a 7-year affair with Falwell's wife, and apparently Falwell knew about it. Right.
From what I understand, Falwell didn't just know about it.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
He
was in the room.
Yeah. I think Falwell was an active participant in the fun.
Anyway, documentary's coming out. Dan, you and I are going to need to watch this, and
we are going to need to watch that.
We
may have to have a viewing party of some sort.
But the fact that this documentary is coming out is causing quite a stir amongst Christians, because, you know, they're already upset that Falwell got all this press and making them all look so bad. But according to James Lasher, in an op-ed that he wrote for the evangelical news outlet Charisma News, the documentary is an attempt by, quote, critics of Christianity to slander the faithful. Falwell was not a faithful, right? Like, Falwell inherited something, right? But nonetheless,
also, even if he was utterly faithful, it's not slander when you're telling the truth.
Correct. Thank you. So anyway, he says that if the couple had studied the Bible as Christian leaders, like they are expected and required to do, I don't know by whom, but apparently, they would have known that nothing stays behind the scenes for hypocrites. With the release of this tell-all documentary, the floodgates have swung wide for the critics of Christianity. Tweets have become, or have already flooded the social media sphere with phrases like, "In lust we trust," mocking the name of God. And then this gets to the really choice part. These avoidable tragedies highlight the need for Christians to pray for their leadership, to lift them up in prayer to the Lord, that he grants them wisdom, discernment, and the strength to endure the trials and temptations of the enemy. As Hulu looks to make a profit off of the sins and downfall of Christian leaders, lift up the Falwells in prayer, that they may repent and turn from their old ways, that their family is protected during this time, and that the church leadership of today is protected and strengthened against the enemy who seeks to destroy them.
This all sounds very much to me like the words of someone who is worried about his own documentary eventually.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Look, anyone who makes a documentary about a Christian leader is a dick, and they're wrong. And you should definitely don't watch it, no matter who it's about. If you hear about it, it's probably a lie, and I didn't do that to that guy.
Yeah, no kidding. So that's wonderful. So yeah, that's all that Hulu's trying to do, is just to slander Christianity.
They're being assholes. They're making $1. They're making $1 off of a real thing, making a documentary about a thing that happened. How dare they?
No,
nobody wants to see a documentary about salacious actual events that happened in the world.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, sign me up for this documentary. This one I'm so excited about. And I don't even like this kind of programming, but this one,
yeah. I don't know. If it focuses too much on the pool boy, I'm going to be mad, because they need to be going after, the target needs to be a little higher.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, the pool boy, okay, he was involved in this, sexual relationship, whatever, but he isn't the hypocrite. He's not.
Right.
Why, except for the fact that he's an attractive young man who I wouldn't mind objectifying for 2 hours. Aside from that, he's not the story.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Well, I'm gonna get a little serious here for a second.
Oh, no.
And we're gonna talk about the Supreme Court of the United States of America. Now, usually on this show, if we bring up the SCOTUS, it's bad news. We have a very poor SCOTUS indeed right now. It is a howler monkeys, as our friend Andrew Torres would say, and they're not worth the cost of the robes they're wearing. However, I mean, there are a couple of them that are pretty good. However, one thing, even in their quest, their march to specifically overturn Roe v. Wade, to their activism as judges to change American law completely, there's still lines that they don't want to cross. So there was a case that came up before the Rhode Island Supreme Court a while back called Benson versus McKee, in which the question at hand was teed up by the right-wing nut jobs was, can we say that a fetus is a person?
Oh boy.
The right has been desperate to make this call, because if they can get a legal ruling that fetuses are people, it changes the game entirely for abortion. And it would make it so that, a ruling like that from the Supreme Court, of course, would make any kind of codifying of the right to abortion a lot trickier.
Right.
But it is a fraught question. And to make a court, courts are they're supposed to just be interpreting laws. They're not supposed to be making philosophical / religious pronouncements / scientific pronouncements about how the universe works. And even this SCOTUS, desperate as they are to be activists, for Jesus, even they declined to wade in. So thank God for small miracles on this front. We literally, we at very least don't have to hear the Supreme Court of the United States proclaiming tiny balls of largely undifferentiated cells humans, people.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to hear the argument, and I'm sure the people promoting this have an argument as to why they're people, but fetuses don't seem to do the things that people do, right? They don't go out to dinner or wear hats,
I mean, I spent the entire week. They don't do any yard work. They don't fetuses. They don't do anything.
Yeah,
they don't make their beds.
They're kind of parasitic more than anything, but
they're a parasite.
Yeah,
they're 100%
somehow turns into a person at some point.
But it's
not.
Doesn't always.
And it's not while they're fetuses.
Yeah.
Oh, I can tell you that. All right, Dan.
Yeah.
You were done, right?
I was done. I was the one thing, I'm going to do one more thing.
Okay.
I'm going to read the Rhode Island Supreme Court's ruling, just a little snippet from them, because here's how they put it. Quote, the unborn plaintiffs fail to assert a legally cognizable and protected interest as persons pursuant to these repealed statutes.
Aha. All right.
I just like the idea of these unborn plaintiffs. I want to hear their testimony from inside the womb.
All right. Dan, down in Louisiana.
Yeah.
A Baptist minister is in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Charles Sothel.
Did he make a bad etouffee?
The third, it was terrible, Dan. He should be ashamed of himself.
His gumbo's no better. It's astounding.
No, I guess for about 3 decades or so, He was in charge of the First Emmanuel Baptist Church in New Orleans and Baton Rouge. He pleaded guilty on Tuesday to charges of money laundering. Holy shit. He was using the church as a way to line his pockets more so than he already could have done with, I'm sure, a nice salary, a rectory, favorable tax code, so forth and so on, right?
How do these guys get caught doing money laundering when literally the whole thing is a grift from the jump?
I know.
Like, you can do it all legally. Just make sure that you check in with your accountant first.
I know. He's admitted, though, to stealing nearly $900,000 directly from the church.
Ooh.
Also from affiliated rental properties, his congregants, and a charter school that he started, which received grants and loans at the Edgar B. Harney Spirit of Excellence Academy. He directed the funds to a bank account controlled by him and a co-conspirator, and he used the money and he also pocketed rental and sales payments from church-owned properties, and he would use the money to pay off credit card bills and cover other personal expenses. He's agreed to repay $687,000 to First Emmanuel, $85,000 to the Spirit of Excellence School, and $110,000 to other people who were victimized, including congregants, apparently directly.
Oh my God!
He basically just swindled out of money, right?
Please tell me that they're letting him continue to be a pastor. Because I almost would. Because I really wouldn't be that surprised.
I know, it would be amazing. And also please forgive me, Jesus.
Yeah. That's all you have to do.
That moment is
you have to have your Jim Baker moment where you cry to your congregation. And then you get to keep going.
Yeah. Apparently he could receive up to 10 years in prison, although typically defendants who plead guilty without going to trial rarely receive the harshest punishments. So he'll probably spend some time in prison, and he's on the hook for paying. I didn't tally that all back up, but paying back a good amount of the money.
A lot of money.
Probably not all of it,
but he had a good time for a minute.
$900,000. I mean, that's over 30 years. So
yeah. But nevertheless, that man had some good pool boy moments. Let's just say
he had the best pool boys.
He had some parties in the Bahamas.
That's on average $30,000 a year.
That's chump change. That's barely anything.
Yeah.
Come on.
He probably didn't start out big. Like he probably got caught because he did go big.
Yeah, you're probably right. If you drew a graph of it, he probably got greedy.
Yeah.
It probably started small, little bits and pieces here and there.
He might have even been honest for 10 years. But the temptation has to be great. Like there's just cash flowing in.
You've got a credit card. You got 5 credit cards maxed out and you're feeling a little bit underwater.
Yeah.
And people are just putting money into plates.
Yeah.
At the church.
And you're like, they don't pay me enough.
Right.
I give so much to this community. I do so much for these people. I deserve this.
That's right. You justify it. You're fine. Suddenly the collection plate is one for you and one for me and one for you and one for me. All right. To close this out, I'm going to bring us back here to Utah, where a Clearfield, a Utah man,
beautiful Clearfield,
is in a little bit of hot water.
Yeah.
I wanted to start by talking about, just briefly, about the pressure that young Mormons, especially young Mormon men, are under to go on a mission.
Oh yeah.
In the LDS church.
Yeah.
And the Mormon men, at 18 years old, you're expected to drop everything and go somewhere shitty in the world.
I went to Italy.
Nice. You went to Rome.
Yeah.
So that's fun. That's actually kind of, although, you're not going to actually baptize anybody there, but.
Yeah, but I have a clean conscience.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Uncle Doug from the How To Heretic went on a mission to Honduras and had a horrible time, but baptized the shit out of everybody.
And has to have that hanging over him. Yeah.
Yeah. So, the mission's a big deal. And if you want to know how big a deal it is, all you need to do is learn about this peach of a fella. This is a guy who's named Keith Warner, whose son was of missionary age, was getting to be of missionary age, and so it was about that time to start readying himself for the mission, and he decided he didn't want to go. This became an argument.
Yeah.
And that became full-on assault.
No.
The dad apparently took the kid by the throat, threw him to the ground, started slamming his head against the ground.
What?
Yeah. Literally a physical fight. They call it a fight. That's an assault.
Yeah.
Literally started to squeeze the victim's neck with both hands. Yeah. Apparently. This is his child.
Yeah.
This is the man's son. And them's the stakes. It doesn't always result in physical violence, but it very frequently results in emotional violence. In verbal abuse,
yes.
in like the kinds of intense pressure that can drive someone insane.
Yeah. No, it was awful. Because
you experienced that kind of pressure.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I had it all worked out. I was going to go to college for a year. I was going to go to college for a year before going on a mission. And then in the back of I pretty much knew that if I went to college, I was out of the mission. Like I was out of the house and I could probably avoid the mission. Right.
Right.
And so I had that all set up. I had like a roommate lined up. College, I was enrolled. I think I'd already started picking classes. I mean, like literally, I was about to go to college, and my dad called me in and he was bishop at the time. And he called me in and was just started filling out the forms. There was no asking me. There was no checking in. There was no saying, I know you have a plan for this year, right? There was nothing. It was just let's get these filled out and send them in. And it was, and in the moment, I felt trapped. I took years to realize what a violation that was.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and that is there you go. That's called loving parenting in Mormondom. That is what that looks like. So. If you were lovingly parented into some sort of awfulness, you can feel free to tell us about it. Write into us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and tell us about it. We'd love to hear your voice. The telephone number is 424-666-8442. Stick around. There's more show coming up.
Well, Frank, I had so many bits of audio to choose from this week. I kept finding an audio thing. I found Kat Kerr giving a weird prayer thing where she apparently was speaking for God and saying that Trump was the rightful president.
Channeling
I thought
God.
that was real
That's
good.
amazing.
And then there was Eric Metaxas's dumb radio show where he had a guy on who I don't know who the guy was, but it was apropos of last week's discussion. The guy was talking about how if you had to be in real good shape if you're going to walk with Jesus in the first century, because that dude was like, you need to be able to row a boat or walk up a mountain. And then they went on and on about how lean, mean, and muscular scriptural dudes were.
Oh, God. Okay.
But what I settled on was a young, probably apprentice associate pastor, I don't know, at Greg Locke's church.
Okay.
Who's in a very tight shirt.
Oh.
But he's going to cast out some demons for us. He chooses some specific ones. I don't think you're going to be able to to predict where it's all going. But thank God he's casting out these demons. Let's take a listen.
All right.
I've been running into this one spirit. There's a spirit that causes you to not love your children. There's a spirit that causes you to not love your children. It causes you to hate your own family. I come against that spirit right now. I literally preached that on Friday. I had 20 moms come up to me and say, I've been just have no love for my kids. It's a demonic spirit. The devil does not want you to love your kids. I come against that spirit now. Every spirit causing you to not love your kids, come out in Jesus' name. Some of you hate showering. You hate brushing your teeth. You always want to be in the dark. That's an unclean spirit that caused you to be unclean. I'm serious. I command that unclean spirit out of you right now. Every spirit of cancer, I call you out right now. OCD, ADD, ADHD, schizophrenia, depression, anxiety, every spirit of depression, you are bound in Jesus' name. Come out. Come on, you got to fight for this. Some of you don't look that desperate tonight. Shina Rabasa. Demons in body parts. Demons in body parts, you must go now in Jesus' name. Come out of their back, come out of their lungs, come out of their blood. How does that work? I don't know. It's a great mystery.
It is. There's definitely a mystery here.
Will you banish my spleen demon, please, young man?
Oh,
literally, oh my God. If people walked out of that tent, because this is under a big top tent, because it's Greg Locke, people walked out of that tent. If you still have ADHD or depression when you walk out of that tent, you should know that it was nonsense.
Yeah.
You should know that he is bullshit.
Right.
But instead, you're going to blame yourself. Instead, that's what they do. Is
they can't get the demon to come out of their butt like he's telling them to.
Yeah. Oh man.
And not showering.
The not showering. You're a dirty, dirty person. I don't know. Somewhere in. I want to know what the fuck is wrong with his congregation that he's got 20 mothers coming up to him saying, I really don't like my kids.
I mean, isn't that all parents like of small children? Like I'm not a parent. But I've witnessed small children in public places, and I want nothing to do with that.
I think he tricked the mothers into saying it. I think somehow, I mean, obviously he's not lying. He would never lie.
Never.
About what, people coming up to him to say a thing. No, he would never do that. So obviously 20 mothers must have actually come up to him and said, I don't like my own children.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Something's very wrong. That's all I'm saying. Oh boy. Well, we had some folks write into us, call into us. We had correspondence. I'll start us off with a correspondence from Kimberly, who's going to be talking. Last week we talked about hot, sexy Jesus.
Ooh, yeah.
And the need, the literal need for our deities to be hot, to be sexy. So here's Kimberly chiming in. In 9th grade, I took Mormon early morning seminary because I actually loved school and wanted to learn real shit. That's right, because in Utah, you take a class period of Mormon church, basically.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go you have to go off campus for it. And if you're in Utah and you take early morning seminary, it means you're opting out of day school time seminary, and that's just crazy talk. Anyway, she continues, I will never forget the day that the seminary teacher taught us two things. One, God had actual physical sex with Mary.
Ooh, all right.
That one's unique to Mormonism. I don't know if you guys know this, but Mormons generally believe that was that hookup was a physical, actual thing.
Well, how else did it happen?
Right? How else do you have sex with? How else do you make a baby? It's not possible. Don't be an idiot. Anyway, number two, Mary was the most beautiful woman who ever lived or will ever live. Apparently.
That's wow. Okay.
Kimberly goes on, I sat there, insecure, zit-faced teen, thinking how messed up it seemed that God cared so much about physical beauty. And what were the logistics here? Did he go to her place? Did he stay the night? And how fucked up was it for poor Heavenly Mother, which Mormon people believe in, who was probably just a sweet spirit? I mean, obviously, she wasn't the hottest piece of pious ass to ever grace the planet like Mary. Anyway, based on that seminary teacher's lesson, it makes sense that Jesus is super sexy. There is an objective beauty standard passed on to us from God himself, and his son takes after his mother. I thought that was pretty amazing. Kimberly goes on to talk about the obvious problem of beauty standards piling on. Well, I'll just read it. On a more serious note, what a fucked up way to pile on the impossible beauty standards to girls and women. And portraying Jesus as physically attractive reinforces attractiveness with good and less conveniently or less conventionally attractive or even disfigurements as bad. Yeah. It's a great point. Like it's what a fucked up message that is.
Yeah. Ugh. Well, Dan.
Yeah.
We have a voicemail, which also is in response to sort of part of that conversation. Or actually, it was the hot podcaster part of.
Oh, because in
the same episode we talked about
wanted t-shirts.
Yeah. There was a lot of hotness going on in that episode.
There was that we talked about that pastor who handed out I heart hot youth pastors t-shirts or stickers. Oh my God, so bad. Okay, here we go. I'll play that voicemail.
All right, so I'm not a designer, but I have an idea for your I Heart Hot Podcaster shirt. What you do is you do like the whole classic I with the heart and then the hot podcasters, maybe do some red letters, whatever, but then take a microphone cord and like wrap it around the heart in sort of like a BDSM kind of way, and then bring it down to a microphone with a pair of lips next to it. I'm sure you can envision what I'm insinuating. I would buy that shirt. I would buy 2 of them and a bumper sticker and whatever else it might need. Thank you for listening. You guys' show is great. Makes me laugh and really helps me through my day sometimes. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, who is a designer?
Yes, we need this.
We might need this shirt.
We could sell at least 2 of them.
We might need this graphic. I'll buy one. I kind of love it. I think it's great. We need a good designer though. Yeah. Whoever you are out there, I know you want to do this. If you're in, we have a kinky designer listening to the show right now.
Absolutely.
You have a little bit of free time. Do labor for us for free. Come on. What are we doing here?
Oh, that's amazing.
All right.
We have another voicemail too, Dan, if you want to.
Oh, okay. We'll jump straight to that then.
This is in response. We talked about the annoying new call to prayer that is being allowed at a mosque in Cologne, Germany.
In Germany, yeah.
And so this caller has something to say about sort of on that topic.
Right.
Hey guys, this is Finn in Germany. I live pretty close to a Catholic church, and oh my God, they ring out every day of the week except for Sunday at 6:30 in the morning for 3 minutes straight. I'm already up for work, and my family sleeps through it. I don't know how. And then, just at random times, they'll go for like 15 minutes, which is on the side of obnoxious. So, yeah, I would like to curtail that as well, but I don't see that happening. So, anyway, hope all is well with you guys. Take care. Bye.
This is what we're saying.
Yeah.
It's just, religion is just noise pollution. Can we just all agree
In so many ways.
that that's what religion, the basis of religion is just annoying everyone around you?
Oh my God. But also, I mean, just the privilege there, right? Like the Christians, just they can ring their fucking bells whenever the hell they want to. And the Muslims are over there getting their precious, what was it, like 5 minutes for a call to prayer, or
once a week on a Friday, under X number of decibels. Keep it quiet.
Yeah.
Keep it blah blah blah. And then meanwhile, the people who are getting mad about it and who are saying, "Yeah, don't do that," then they walk back to their church and go, "Bang bang, bang bang, bang bang."
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Eventually we will cure this world of that, and I don't know, something more obnoxious will probably take its place. All right. Benjamin wrote in from Virginia to say, "Dear Frank and Dan, I was just wondering if you guys are aware of this TikTok trend on BYU student interviews. Some questions I see, I have seen these, by the way, and they are delightful and horrifying. It's literally just people, a couple of young people, they go and ask BYU students questions. I'll let Benjamin explain. Some questions that I see are kind of normal, like Trump or Biden, or pro-life versus pro-choice. But then they get to some fun ones, like drink a cup of coffee or a cup of cooking oil. Die a horrible, excruciating death, or watch a porn video. It's become such a trend now that people are making mock videos of it that are absolutely ridiculous. The best way of seeing all these is just to search BYU student interviews on the TikTok. I've seen a few of them. I've seen both of those videos, drink a cup of coffee or cooking oil, and a horrible, excruciating death, or watch a porn video. And the number of people that are so terrified, not of the sin itself, but of looking like they're willing to do the sin rather than die a horrible, excruciating death. It's amazing how many people are like, "Oh, I'd rather have a horrible, excruciating death than watch a porn video." Which, do they think that we all believe them? That's what's amazing to me. Do they think that we're all going, "Oh yeah, that tracks. That part, you definitely, given that actual scenario, you're now in a Saw movie and you're given that choice. Yeah, we all believe you'll take the death. Totally. 100%.
I mean, but the question isn't whether they would, if actually posed, but like in their little heart in that moment, do they believe it?
Yeah.
Right. And I think that a lot of them probably do. Like I remember that mindset of like, having to be prepared for like the last days, and like, so you're going to have to, it's your life, or you either deny Christ or it's you die.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Someone's got a gun to your head. What do you do? And it's like, I'd take the bullet. Right.
I take the bullet.
Yeah. And it's like,
Until it comes to,
in reality, you're going to realize those are just words.
Right.
Or you die.
Yeah, exactly. Repent later if you must. Yeah. But you can drink a cup of coffee and you'll be okay. You're not going to, the universe doesn't explode.
Yeah.
You don't go sent straight to hell.
Yeah. And a cup of cooking oil. Like, you're just going to make yourself sick.
Yeah, you're just going to vomit. I don't know. I kind of want them to have those two cups because look, you're not going to actually make anybody go through a horrible, excruciating death, but you might be able to trick a dumb Mormon kid into drinking a cup of cooking oil, and I want to see it.
Yeah, we don't need a new like Tide Pod challenge out there. Like,
it's just oil. It's fine. They'll live. They're young. Their bodies can handle it. Oh, man. Ryan wrote into us as well. We got one more. You had a caller mention and you agreed that religion is extremely out of touch with the two-party working household. But I disagree. You remember this call? We talked about how all these religious people keep saying that the woman should stay home and the man should work, and it's just not feasible for a lot of people in our country.
Yeah.
But Ryan says, I think that it has to be looked at from the perspective that it's intentional, and here's why. Religion tells you are broken, that nothing in life is easy, that the only way to claw yourself out of brokenness is through faith and trust in Jesus and the church. A single source of employment creates an entire family of vulnerable people desperately looking for hope and a helping hand that the church is happy to extend. They do not want a financially stable household because a financially stable household has less reason to need them than a family who is struggling. Plus, a family divided by work has other issues than that the church can. Sorry, I'm going to try that again. Plus, a family divided by work has other issues that the church can more easily capitalize on. Dad works 60 hours a week, no problem, because a cool youth pastor can step in to provide a father figure that isn't exhausted from trying to keep the family afloat. A mother who has no social network outside of the home, since she has no co-workers, will cling to her sisters in Christ all that much more. A home that can't put enough food on the table may need to go to the church community to help put a meal on the table and feel indebted for it after. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. The truth is that, I saw a TikTok at one point that said that the church needs you to limp so that they can offer you a crutch.
Right.
And that's a great point. They could very well be entirely deliberate in trying to make people's lives worse.
Yeah.
So that they can make their lives marginally better.
Yeah.
Oh, there
Crazy
you go. Do we have some folks to thank?
We do indeed, Dan. We have 3 new patrons on Patreon.
Okay.
All coming in at the deacon level. So you guys, you get to pass the sacrament. It is such a privilege.
Your magic powers include moving bread from person to person and offering very tiny drinks.
Yeah, and the names of these people, these new deacons, are John, Aaron, and Ralph and Baxter from Australia. So
Ralph and Baxter?
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
I apologize to all of our other beautiful patrons, but Ralph and Baxter from Australia are my new favorite patrons for this week. I love everything about what you just said.
And if you'd like to join them, you can go to our website, thankgodimatheist.com, and click on the support tab. And as always, Dan, we have our top donor to thank, our Lord and Savior, Davis. Stick around. There's some more show coming up. Dan.
Yes?
Ooh, my favorite holiday.
You literally
up.
said earlier in the show that you don't.
That I'm ambivalent.
That
Yeah,
you're
I know.
ambivalent. I really like Halloween. I think it's fun. I love the idea of a holiday that sort of looks at the dark side of things, that talks about death, that's about spooky.
Yeah.
Because look, it's obvious that humanity needs this. This didn't come out of nowhere.
Right.
Humanity needs a way of exploring that part of our existence. It's why spooky movies exist. It's why spooky is a thing that we play with as humans. But it does mean that that pastors around the world, across the country, have to figure out how they're going to handle it.
Because it's because it's clearly something that really needs to be handled, right?
Well,
kids out there
here's the
having a
thing.
good time,
Right. People
right?
are enjoying
Dressing
themselves.
up as stuff. Yeah, a few of them dress up as little demons or ghouls or whatnot, but they're mostly Spider-Men and doctors and whatnot, right?
Yeah, sure.
It's okay. Yeah, let's deal with this. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Anytime people are just enjoying themselves and the church isn't involved, they're going to start to think, we're not making any money off of this. We're not capitalizing. We're not making people feel bad about themselves.
Enough.
We're missing an opportunity here.
Yeah.
So a recent thing came out, a poll that discussed sort of what pastors are doing about it in the United States from Lifeway Research. And it's pretty interesting. It doesn't surprise me at all. But it is pretty interesting. The main thing that pastors are doing is that they are having a church event as an alternative to Halloween events.
Oh, yeah, this is important.
Yeah, so then they are capitalizing they're getting all of the vibes, and then everybody's being very careful about what they dress up as, because you don't dress up as the devil when you're going to the church potluck or whatever it is. Oh God, they're literally just trying to ruin the holiday.
Yeah.
It is just, now there are, so 71% of pastors are doing that. They have their own church event. They want people, they want you as a member of their church to invite other people, to annoy other people with their church event. That's what people not in the church. Then the other thing that they're doing, this is nice. About 58%, they say, of pastors do say, go ahead and go trick-or-treating, but do it with the goal of building relationships with neighbors.
Oh,
now, that sounds okay, but it's not about a relationship. This is transactional.
Yeah.
I, as a child, ring your bell, you come, you give me a treat, and then I don't throw eggs at your house or toilet paper you or something.
Right. That's the traditional transaction.
That's what we should be doing.
Yeah.
There's no conversation needed here.
Well, you could the child could be instructed to say, God bless you, or something along, or Jesus saves.
Right.
Or there's ways to sneak it in.
Yeah.
Right?
There definitely are ways to annoy your neighbors.
Totally normal ways to turn your children into Jesus freaks.
Everybody will love it.
Well, what is your memory of Halloween as a kid? Did your ward do stuff? Did your ward have a Halloween event? No,
we just
really?
You just go trick-or-treating.
Oh my God, we would always have a ward party on Halloween.
Oh, interesting.
And they would, and so and it wasn't I don't remember there being anything filtered down to the kids about it being oh, well, this is, you can't do, we're doing this so that you can avoid the demons that are out there or something like that. Right. It was fun. We would have a little fall festival thing, and people would get all dressed up, and there'd be bobbing for apples, and there would be usually there would be a little, it wasn't really a haunted house, but in the really, really scary way. But there were, the older kids would have little spook alley, and they'd jump out and scare you. And
I think we did that a couple times, now that I think about it. I don't remember too many of them. I probably just didn't go to a few of them.
Yeah.
Because that sounds boring.
I loved them. They were so much fun.
There you go.
Our entire lives revolved around the church and our ward.
Sure.
Right. I mean, that's the kind of Mormons we were.
Right.
That's where all my friends were, you know?
Yeah.
So
Totally.
of course it was fun.
Now what the Mormons are doing is what a lot of people are doing. And by the way, if you're out there doing this, I don't blame you. A lot of people think that this is a safety issue, but if you're going to trunk or treats, fuck off. Absolutely not. This is a thing where everybody parks their car in the church parking lot or whatever, facing away from the center of the parking lot, and then they open their trunk and they've got candy in there, and you just go around from car to car getting candy.
How awful.
Rather than going from house to house. The whole point is the house to house thing. This is kids being brave and going to strangers' homes. Nobody poisons candy.
Right.
Nobody puts razor blades in candy. Don't worry about it.
Never happened. Yeah.
Just fucking let your kids go trick or treating. Now, there is another thing that a lot of pastors will encourage their 34% of pastors apparently encourage their parishioners to do this. Hand out gospel tracts to the trick-or-treaters.
No.
Absolutely not.
That is...
If your child gets a gospel tract, you need to encourage vandalism of that house. This is a moral imperative. If someone's giving out fucking reading material about Jesus rather than candy... it is time for you to teach your kids new and creative ways to ruin their home.
Or just go up to the door and be like, and knock and be like, hey, are you giving these out? Like, the kids are going around having a good time, right? Like,
Right.
Can't you just respect that? Like, if you don't want to participate in giving out candy, then just turn off your lights. Be a normal curmudgeon, right? And turn your lights off. Don't give them a chick track or whatever.
Yeah, here's what you do. Knock on the door. When they open it, march straight past them into their home, throwing the tract into their face as you walk past them. Open their fridge, take something that looks delicious, walk back out, and turn off their lights as you go. Say nothing.
Unprecedented, Dan.
Because fuck those people. They're ruining a perfectly fun evening for everybody. 13% of the pastors say just avoid Halloween completely.
Oh my God.
Just don't even do it. I'll tell you what, we talked earlier about Greg Locke, that the literal circus pastor who has a circus tent for a church. He's going to throw an event, a church event.
Oh yeah.
He got a lot of press. The last time he did this, which was back in February, he had a big burning, a book burning / what he calls occult items burning.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what he's thinking. It is way too soon after that one to have another one. Frankly, everybody already burned their stuff. What are they going to do? Go out and buy more Harry Potter books just so that they can burn them for you?
Well, it's it's fewer Harry Potter books out in the world. So yes, that's what they should be doing. Buying them and burning them.
I only had mine on my Kindle, so I burnt that. Yeah, apparently he wants all of his parishioners to cleanse your home from Harry Potter and play witchcraft. It's evil and should not be tolerated. He says anything that is, here's the things that he wants. Burn the dream catchers, spell books.
What?
How many of you really think a lot of your parishioners have spell books? Anyway, healing crystals and yoga related nonsense. If you want that curse removed from your home, you need to dispose of anything that is connected to the evil of the Masonic Lodge.
What? You have like a square.
Yeah.
A compass.
Do you have a sextant?
A sextant. There you go.
You're going to have to burn that shit. Catholic statues, rosary beads, tarot cards, demonic games like Dungeons and Dragons and Pokemon.
Oh my God. He is I don't think I would get along with this guy.
What?
I know.
I don't know.
It's a bold statement. It's a bold stance to take. I don't think I would get along with Gredlock.
I'm telling you, you get in with him, he could be a lot of fun. That guy could be a lot of
You
fun.
think
I
so?
guarantee you.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. He now that he's making some money. Oh, I'll bet there's a lot of fun to be had.
Oh, God.
I just want to be there helping him with the brainstorming sessions of this kind of event. I just feel like I could help him out.
Of things that should be burned.
Yeah,
household goods that are
various burn-ins,
secretly satanic.
Yeah. I could really help him craft some exorcisms. I don't know. We come up with some fun stuff. Good Lord. Well, friends, I hope that you get out there and have fun for your Halloween. I hope everybody's gonna go out there and find really do play. If you're in the South or if you're in a place where you think you're gonna get some chick tracks, help your kid think of some fun ways to do some damage, because that is unconscionable.
Make sure they have a lighter on them, and they just pull the chick track out, light it on fire.
Yeah.
Put it on.
Put a dog turd in the chick track, light it on fire, and ring the doorbell. And that's a classic one. You can't go wrong there.
These are all horrible ideas.
This is great ideas.
No,
don't listen to Frank. You do it. You get out there and you do it.
The official. I'm retracting all these suggestions officially.
This is satire officially. Officially, this is all we're all just playing. We're all just having a good time.
Because I don't want anybody to do it and then say Frank and Dan told me to.
You go out there and you do it. You definitely do it. Anyway, whatever our lawyers say, have a fun holiday. Go out there and have some fun. And yeah, if you do have some ideas that you think should be shared about anything, feel free to write into us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and leave us a voicemail message. Tell us about it. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yeah, go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist, and click the like button.
And if you'd like to join one of our members-only lounges, you can do so. Go to our website, thankgodimatheist.com/members only.
Yeah, thanks so much to the Red Rock Hot Club for the use of their fine music.
And thanks to Gordon Johnston for the use of his music.
And thanks to all y'all for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.